Okay, so it's time to get back to reviewing the movies I've seen in theaters, and I saw 2 movies on Saturday, so let's start with The Gallows. And so the concept of The Gallows is that there is this school play that happened years back where a student actually died. He actually got hung in the play and broke his neck, I'm assuming, because he didn't even struggle when the platform dropped and he dropped down with the noose around his neck. Years pass after Charlie's death, and the school decides to try the play again. Wow, that can't go wrong at all, can it? And so a few students break into the school to mess up the stage and destroy the props and make sure that there is no opening night. And the reason they're destroying the play and trying to stop it from happening is not because of Charlie's death. No, of course it's because the main character is a bad actor in the play, and his douchebag friend egged him on and encouraged him to come with them and destroy the play because this douchebag friend doesn't give a shit. So now we've got 4 students trapped inside the school at night, and the ghost of Charlie wants revenge. To be blatantly obvious, The Gallows is really nothing new in the found footage genre. So if you decide to see The Gallows, don't expect anything great, anything spectacular, because it really is an average found footage film. Now, being average doesn't mean it's a bad film, it just means it is average and it's nothing new. And if you're not into average, if you're not into cliches, if you're not into anything that isn't new, then chances are you're going to absolutely hate this film. And out of these 4 students, pretty much half of them are terrible dicks that you want to die anyway. The best friend that operates the camera through most of the film is pretty much a douchebag bully that doesn't give a shit. He's only in it for, I guess, the extra credit or something, or I don't know. It doesn't really explain why he's a part of this play and dealing with some of the behind the scenes, because he doesn't care and he thinks it's an absolute joke. And so the first 10 to 15 minutes you get to see him bully people around and be a douchebag, and to be honest, I see why it gets annoying to some people. I can see why people absolutely hate it, but overall it wasn't too bad and too distracting. It just meant that I definitely wanted him to die and couldn't wait to see him die. And then the douchebag's girlfriend seemed like she could be a fairly okay girl until she ended up turning out to be quite the bitch. While 2 characters of the film are complete dicks and terrible people and you won't like them, the other 2 actually have some redeemable qualities to them. One of them is trapped in the school by seemingly coincidental means, and then the main character, I felt bad for him because he was just a guy who likes a girl. He's completely manipulated by his friends and put under peer pressure, and because he's a bad actor, and so he's only in there because of peer pressure, because he's a bad actor, because he doesn't want to blow it for this one girl that he likes who is in the play. And then the ghost is after him in particular because of the sins of his father. So the main character of the film is the most redeemable and is the one that you're most likely going to care about because he actually is the main character, so that's good. And now what I really liked about the film is its concept and is the setting of the film. It's atmospheric, it is dark, it is creepy. There is some legitimate creepiness to this whole movie. And another thing it adds to the found footage genre is something that has been done in other found footage movies, particularly The Chronicle. Because in The Gallows, any of the cameras and any of the phones that are recording at the time can be used as the found footage structure. So when characters ultimately get split up in the school, you get to see the perspective of one group, and then they'll hear something, they'll hear a scream, they'll hear something bad happening to the other group in a different area of the school, and then it'll jump back in time to show what happened to those characters. So you get a bigger perspective of the movie because of that. Now I find this funny, and I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't looked up the actors' names to figure out who they are and if I've seen them in anything, but all of their names is the same first name of the characters they play. Yeah, the main character's name is Reese, which the actor's name is Reese. The main girl he loves is Pfeiffer, which the actress' name is Pfeiffer, and so on and so forth. So that can mean one of two things. Either the people did not trust the actors in memorizing a different name for themselves, or it's trying to have a semi-realism situation where the characters have the same name as the actors, so when you look up the actors' names, that you see their first name and you think, oh, maybe this really happened. Yeah. Which is funny because another film that I did like had that same situation where it seemed like it's trying to be as realistic as possible, and so they had the actors' names the same names as the main characters. A movie that I really like, by the way, it's called Afflicted. So look that one up. There is a lot of jump scares and a lot of loud noises that make you jump, but at the same time, there is one jump scare that got me, and it wasn't actually accompanied with a loud noise. It was really weird. It was just something that, it was almost like it wasn't meant to be a jump scare, because all of the other jump scares in this movie have a loud noise so that you get scared by that more than the thing coming at you. So it was almost like it wasn't planned to be a jump scare, but it actually ended up being a jump scare, and it got me. Now, I do kind of like The Gallows, even though it is an average and a cliched found footage film, and even though half of the characters are bad, I did like the other half of the characters. And honestly, The Gallows might have been a 3-star movie if it wasn't for the final scene. Now, of course, like many movies, there is a twist to The Gallows, and I did kind of enjoy the twist. But the scene after, it felt like you really shouldn't have had that scene, and I get why they had it. It's because they want to explain things to the audience that doesn't quite get the twist, but they're far better off without that final scene because it is super cliched. While the other things are cliched to an extent, the final scene is the most super cliched, terrible scene in the entire film. I'm going to give The Gallows 2.5 stars. Yeah, I kind of liked it. I'm a big horror fan though, and I still feel that there are some good films in the found footage genre. But if you're tired of found footage, if you just can't stand it at all, then don't even bother seeing it. It's not going to make you a fan of found footage if you hate found footage films. So have you seen The Gallows? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment. If you haven't seen it, what is your favorite found footage horror film? So as always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was Just My Opinion.